All right, guys, Jameson and Alex here. Today's the day. We finally are releasing our first issue of our digital magazine, digital zine, PDF, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know.
And the first issue on here is the Inksworn is the focus. It's one of the 4 primary factions of the Terrantal campaign setting. So with that, it kind of has this eerie, mysterious power that's kind of a lot of question marks around it with the ancient history. So there's some lore behind that in the beginning of this, just a little bit of information. And the thought with it too is, and of course, to get access to this, guys, it's going to be on Patreon right now, so make sure you go and check that out. If we want to do these on a monthly basis, we have at least, I have in my head already pre-plotted out the next, I think 5 months are already set.
Yeah.
It's just finalizing the stuff and writing all the
finalizing some numbers and wording,
right?
Because grammar's hard.
Yes. We probably read through this thing. I've probably read through this 20 or 30 times.
And there's still going to be something in there that somebody else catches.
Probably be some stuff, but that's the good thing with it is we can always update stuff if we feel like we need to, and make balance changes if we feel like we have to. But we feel like everything that we have here is solid where we want it to be with that. So check it out, guys. We worked really hard on this. We have some great art, some commission stuff here. But basically, Inksworn is the first faction. This is volume 1 of Inksworn. So we're going to do basically expanding lore on each faction. So we'll kind of cycle through the different factions through each issue. So this one is Inksworn. The next one will be a mystery. We'll keep that quiet for now.
Like, is he going to drop that in already? He's like, no.
But basically, each issue will expand further on the lore. So if you have volume 1, 2, 3, 4 of, the Inksworn, you're going to get a deeper dive into that faction.
Yep.
So,
and for those of you that are curious as to what all is in here, obviously, I won't let him bury the lead any further. Yes, there is a subclass in here, and it is a monk at that. And as our goals to dropping each one of those, is we have been working on a subclass, for each of the classes and everything. So we're trying to drop, a new one every month. So I guess our niche, our lane can stay rolling through. We spend a lot of our time covering. Again, the artwork we put together with this for some of our own efforts, and then the artwork we commissioned was extremely well done. The monk artwork is beyond fantastic for what is in here. A couple of magic items that are interesting and unique.
One that we are very
it's very fun.
Well, you give them just a little teaser. What's the name of it, Alex?
It is the Cobalt Candle. And it is definitely inspired by the kobolds of World of Warcraft. And if you know the deep lore there as to why they have their candles and why they will scream at you, "You no take candle!" That's where this came from.
And I will tell you, you can no take candle with this one.
It's right.
It's very interesting, very fun kind of magic.
It is a wondrous magic item for a reason. It is a very, very fun time.
So going along with the monk subclass, obviously, the whole theme here is the Inksworn. So with this, it's got access to this magical ink. It can, stretch its arms. Kind of like if you're thinking like a Luffy
or
from
like
One Piece,
or a Zack from League of Legends.
Zack, sure, it's got some stretching,
he's oozy.
Some stretching, some stretching for some shenanigans that can be done. Some extra mobility, utility on the battlefield. It kind of falls into, I would say, like a battlefield control kind of subclass, because you kind of create zones and you can do shenanigans from different zones other than where you are at, or extend your abilities through these zones. Yeah.
You can reach out and touch people from a long way away if you're smart. And again, I think it
has strategy for sure.
This was the subclass is definitely in come from Jameson's brain. And I was here more helping with balancing abilities on the subclass work on this one. But I think what's there, it's a great example of, if you're really intelligent, you're going to be able to pull off some really fun things with it. It's because with the abilities that are in there, there's some interesting opportunities based on positioning and battlefield control that you can do some really fun things with, for sure.
And then one of the other major features on here is a new race option, which is the Remnant Elf. That goes along with this kind of feel of the lore that goes along. There's some story as to why the elves are as they are in this setting. And along with that, they have some interesting arcane abilities that they can try to disrupt other kind of magic users,
so they
or just cause other effects on top of them, and they can get some other ways to get some like an arcane protection a little bit on them as well from some of those.
Also, some very interesting magic items and weapons that are in here. With some very interesting mechanics on there. Again, while they each share a theme because they are faction-based. If that's something else we kind of wanted to look at was doing some faction-based items that have a flavor that make them all similar in terms of what they do mechanically, but maybe the mechanics are slightly different for each type of weapon, which is what you get with the options that are in here. And there's some...
in addition, of course, to a couple of wondrous items as well that have a little bit looser kind of concept.
Right.
And then I think the last really major point on here is the monsters. I have a couple, one major legendary monster in here, and then one is it's a sample of what we call the consumed, which is basically someone or a creature who was unable to control the power of the Inksworn. So they become consumed by this dark magic.
Their mind and body is no longer their own.
Yes, they'll be kind of this like sludge hybrid monstrosity aberration.
Pretty sure the art is going to be on the thumbnail.
We'll have stuff for sure. So you'll kind of get a feel for it. And I've done teaser, I think we'll have it as well.
It's the perfect combination of like, aw, and
yes. So
it's exactly what it is.
So to go along with that, one of my biggest pet peeves with monsters in 5th edition is a lot of them are really boring.
Yes.
Where it's like, it has a scimitar attack, and you're just like, okay, like that's it? It just can hit you with a sword. It's like, that's not exciting, that's not fun. Yep. So I spent a lot of time...
That's not what this one does.
Trying to create a template that you can apply to any monster and give them additional options for actions, bonus actions, reactions, just to give them more flavor, give them more battlefield impact. They have more options available to them as well, but nothing too crazy that a DM is going to be like overwhelmed by as well.
Because a lot of the stuff that's in there isn't necessarily complicated, but there are a lot of choices. You don't have to give a monster all of the options on there. You can give them one of each. Sweet mercy! If you gave it's a sizable table in there. There's 3 or 4 features for like each type of action on there,
and
kind of thing.
And passives as well are on there too.
So there's plenty of choices that you could give a good reason to why they may have 1 from here, 2 from here, 1 from here, kind of thing.
Right.
And give you some good variety, especially if you've got some people in your party that like to metagame, whether they do it intentionally or not. It's like, oh, it's just like a wolf. It looks different. Well, until it
throw in a couple of these extra things.
Why does that one wolf look like he's kind of sick compared to the other ones? It's like, he gonna do some weird stuff.
Yeah, or you just have they go to hit one of the creatures and it swaps places with another one. And you're just like, wait, what? It's like maybe this little like sickly little like bunny looking thing hops over to your caster and you don't think anything of it. And then this terrifying creature comes over and you go to whack it, and then it swaps places with the bunny, and now your caster is in dire threat of death immediately.
Yeah, bait switch.
Some interesting shenanigans that can be done with those. So fun for players and DMs in this one.
That's kind of a rundown of what you can expect. Again, we appreciate all the support you guys have given us in our journey to this point, and this is why we wanted to take the time to start creating things like this. Yes, it's going to start off behind the Patreon to start, for everybody to get a chance to support us in a different way. But we want to give you more for giving us more, and we again appreciate everybody that's been here with us through the journey, and want to give you some interesting things that hopefully you haven't seen before or haven't seen done in this way before with this first episode of many to come.
Yes, like again, we want to try to do this every single month, so. The more support we get, the easier it's going to be. The more resources we'll be able to have. The more we can flesh these things out and spend more time on them. So, just hope that you guys enjoyed this stuff. We've worked really hard on it. We've tried to hit a level of quality that we're proud of, and I feel like we've done that, especially for a first issue. It usually only gets better after the first one. At least you hope so.
We sure hope anyway, right?
So, if you guys want to help support us, check out this thing down below. I think you'll enjoy it, and we worked really hard on it. So. Thank you again for all your support so far with the channel. Couldn't be here without you guys. If you enjoy our content, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.